welcome you on this glorious morning to the commencement exercises for the Hampton Days High School graduating class of 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rich Perglin, and while I normally teach in the Hampton Days Elementary School, today I was proud and honored to have been asked to serve as your guide and narrator for the procession that will very soon enter the tent, thus marking the beginning of this morning's proceedings. And now, as we approach the hour of 11 o'clock, please note that the processional is beginning to assemble at the entrance to the middle school gymnasium. This fine collection of faculty and students will be greeted by our honored veterans, the Hank Aldridge Post number 924 of the American Legion Color Guard. Leading the processional are the soon-to-be graduates of the Hampton Days High School. With the girls forming on the right and the boys to the left, they will march to the entrance of the tent and then turn to the center line, thus acting as honor guards for our distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the entrance of the tent. Superintendent of Schools, and Christopher Richard, Secondary School Principal and Master of Ceremonies. Next, we are proud to have James Maggio, honored guest and commencement speaker for the Hampton Days class of 1986. George Lehman, President of the Board of Education, and Marie Mulcahy, Vice President of the Board of Education. Lisa Patopoulos, Board Trustee, and Chris Katz, Board Trustee. Representing the District Administration, Joe Gallar, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Lucille Martier, Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Representing our elementary school, Mark Meyer, Elementary Principal. And from our esteemed elementary school faculty, Denise Lindsay Romano, Dean of Students, and Dennis Shaw, Grade 3 teacher. June Durham, Kindergarten teacher, and June Eaton, Kindergarten teacher. Rosemary King, Academic Intervention Services, and Robert Lovett, Grade 2 teacher. Denise DeRosa, Grade 4 teacher, and Robin Spielman, teacher of English as a second language. Representing our evolving middle school, Lars Clemenson, Assistant Principal. And from our emerging middle school faculty, English Department Representative, Captain Callahan. English as a second language representative, Ruth Durosky. Science Department Representative, Tony Daciano. Mathematics Department Representative, Andy Patopoulos. Art Department Representative, Regina Papillo. Representing our secondary school, Dan Nolan, Assistant Principal. and Daniel Tomaszewski, Director of our Alternative PM High School. Art Department Representative, Lori Ackerson. English as Second Language Representative, Jacqueline Rossi. English Department Representatives, Sarah Holton and Justin Delphon. Foreign Language Department Representative, Mary Kate Miedema. Special Education Department Representative, Edith Tunney. Mathematics Department Representatives, Eileen Price and Doug Metz. Science Department Representatives, Richard Gostick, Chairperson, Richard Iannelli and Ed Dowman. Social Studies Department Representative, Francis Stefanik, Chairperson, and Roger Armstrong. Porfirio Lopez and Val Stipe. And serving as escorts to lead in our graduates, Rosary Ray, Senior Class Advisor, and Guidance Counselors Jonathan Nelson and Anthony de Blasio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. My name is Christopher Richard, Principal of Hampton Bay Secondary School. And on behalf of the Board of Education, Administration, faculty, staff, our guests, and of course, the class of 2007, I welcome you to the commencement exercises at the Hampton Bays Union Free School District.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin with the formal program, let me take care of a few housekeeping chores. First, the exits of the tent are marked at the corners. Refreshments are available at the PTSA tent located adjacent to the secondary school. Restrooms will be available in the building. There is no smoking permitted on school grounds. We also ask that photographers refrain from blocking the view of others. And finally, please turn off all cell phones. At this time, I would like to introduce the Hand Aldridge Post number 924 of the American Legion to present our national colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Kristen Moran, the third ranking member of the class of 2007, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as Jeremy Flanagan directs the high school chamber choir in the singing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you to the American Legion Color Guard. Thank you, Kristen, Mr. Flanagan, and the high school chamber choir. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a moment and introduce the men and women seated behind me. Our distinguished guest, James R. Maggio, Hampton-based class of 1986. Our superintendent of schools, Joanne Lowenthal. Members of the Board of Education, Board President George Lehman. Vice President Marie Mulcahy. And trustees Chris Katz, Lisa Papopoulos, and absent from today's proceedings is trustee Craig Schifano. Also here today are members of the school district administration, Mr. Joe Kalarick, Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Lucille Martiva, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, our elementary school principal, Mr. Mark Meyer, our assistant principal at the secondary school, for both of them, Dan Nolan and Lars Clemenson. Seated on the risers are members of the faculty from our elementary and secondary schools. In most cases, these teachers have influenced the learning lives of our graduates since kindergarten, and we are appreciative of their presence here today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Megan Jordan as the president of the class of 2007. Megan will make some welcoming remarks.
Good morning, and welcome all students, faculty and staff, administration, parents, friends, and family. This morning officially marks the end of our happy days in Hampton Bays. Everyone always told us that these years would fly by, but who actually thought that we would have listened? I've learned that you could take away points on a test or deductions from an event in class night, but you can never take away the memories that we've made. And no matter how much we've grown and how much our lives have changed, we'll always know where we started. And I think I can speak for most of us when I say that in a small way, we're still those kids who played football every day at recess. Some may say that those are the days, but I know that these are the days that matter. The days where we start to become the people we're going to be, and the days where we all come together as a class of 2007. And as we begin to finalize our plans for where we're all heading off to, we'll always have this place to come home to, and we'll have each other. We may not miss the early mornings or long study sessions at Starbucks, but we'll miss the nights out and running around like animals in our version of The Lion King. It's been a long ride. So we should thank our parents for putting up with us, our teachers for pushing us, and each other for just being us. I wish you all the luck in the future and never forget these years. And as Green Day said it best, for what it's worth, it was worth all the while. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Hampton Bays Secondary School salutatorian, Bruce King. Bruce is graduating with a grade point average of 104.2. Bruce will be attending Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the fall. Bruce, please come forward.
Wow. We're here, graduating from high school. Where'd all the time go? As cliche as that question is, I have an answer. The years we spent together in Hampton Bays Secondary School have become the wonderful memories that we all possess. From the private inside jokes we share with our friends to the great fun events like prom and class night, there are just too many memories to recall. But I will mention one thing. I don't know if you've counted, but over the years, this class has had 6 different principals. And just as many advisors. We finally got it right with Mrs. Ray. She is the best thing that's happened to our class, and we love her dearly. Thank you, Mrs. Ray, for all you did for us this year. Now, there's a lesson to be learned from the constant change of leadership that has occurred around us. It has taught us to be adaptable and to do our best no matter the situation. In the future, whether it is in college, in a new job, or towards the end of life, we will all face scenarios similar to the ones experienced in high school, and we must use the knowledge and skills gained in high school to lead a successful and productive life. Now, some of you may be wondering, how am I going to use the math I learned in high school for the real world? Sarah Zay, as some of you may know, has asked this question to every math teacher we have ever had. And in my opinion, only Mrs. Price and Mr. Metz have had okay answers. Mrs. Price talked about the careers in mathematics, but I want to share to you Mr. Metz's response to Sarah's question. Instead of saying that we needed to learn theorems like a squared plus b squared equals c squared to pass a test, Mr. Metz divulged into a lengthy, extended metaphor. He said that all of us enter kindergarten as a figurative lump of goo. Now stick with me here. This goo is molded as we travel along the conveyor belt, which is school. After kindergarten, we are shaped. And after first grade, we are shaped some more. And so on. Mr. Metz's math class was just another station in which we were all shaped. We reached the end of Mr. Metz's conveyor belt, and after all that shaping and molding, we are no longer the goo we started as. We are high school graduates. This graduation is a celebration of 13 years of educational achievement. Be proud of your accomplishment, and don't forget the lessons you learned in high school. Continue to seek out knowledge, and most importantly, make the most out of your life. Make life dynamic, and make it enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. In recognition of your academic achievements, we present you with this trophy. Since coming to Hampton Bays last fall, I've been impressed with the wide range of musical talent. It is now my pleasure to again introduce to you a group of exceptionally talented chamber choir students, including our senior choir members, who under the direction of Jeremy Flanagan, teacher of vocal music, will perform a rendition of a Billy Joel song previously sung at our spring concert. And so it goes. Thank you, Mr. Flanagan, and our chamber choir for that incredible performance. It is now my distinct pleasure to present the valedictorian of the class of 2007, Catherine Lerner. Catherine is graduating with a grade point average of 104.98. Catherine will be attending the University of Maryland in the fall.
So, what do Rocky Balboa, J.K. Rowling, and the class of 2007 have in common? They have all been counted out and, of course, underestimated. Sitting before me are budding engineers, accountants, performers, and educators. No doubt, Vicki and Erica, you will have your artwork in the Met before you know it. And I look forward to our first class reunion where we'll hear how Tony made millions as an entrepreneur. My point is this. We are going on to do bigger and better things with our lives, but please don't forget our years together in Hampton Bays. Our years in Hampton Bays have prepared us for the real world. We've learned the importance of flexibility and that you have to roll with the punches. Our high school experiences have included no electricity on the first day of 8th grade, the near cancellation of a performance of The Little Shop of Horrors, and of course the effects of an austerity budget during our junior year. We have learned that in order to be happy and successful, you must make the best of your situation. My grandfather used to say, even the biggest trees must learn to bend in the breeze. From fundraising for sports to making our own costumes for the musical, we've been taught that if an obstacle is thrown in your path, you can't give up, you just have to adapt. I'm pretty sure we've learned to do that. From the days when we used to clog the red slide and royally tick off the lunch ladies, to our rendition of The Lion King, fully equipped with a giant stuffed giraffe, I've always known that we are certainly a unique bunch of kids. We are not afraid to dance to our own tune. We get along with each other for the most part, and though we may not be the competitors that other classes are, we sure know how to have a good time. We know the importance of laughter, and we know that high school and life are too short for petty grievances and unnecessary drama. Some would, and have criticized us for our rather relaxed outlook on life, but I ask, what is so wrong with the attitude that we embody? Dorothy Parker once wrote, "Oh, life is a glorious cycle of song, a medley of extemporania, and love is a thing that can never go wrong." The world could take a lesson from our example. At the risk of sounding like a flower child, some major world problems and conflicts of our time could be solved if everyone could just chill out. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, right? So, my classmates, the class of 2007, 007, the class that made you lose control, I commend you for your accomplishments. I wish you the best of luck on our different paths in the future, and I implore you to make a difference. Let's show everyone what the Hampton Bays class of 2007 is all about, because we have the ability to change the world for the better. And for Mr. Bauman, live long and prosper.
Thank you, Catherine. And to commemorate this occasion and your wonderful academic achievement, please accept this trophy with our best wishes and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Joanne Lowenthal.
It's harder and harder each year to follow the talent that's been up here before me. But good morning, everyone. We're together on this beautiful Hampton Days morning to celebrate a milestone in the educational careers of these terrific young men and women. Megan, Bruce, Catherine, your class spokespersons, addressed your collective memories. While those memories are unique to you and the class of 2007, they are now part of the history of Hampton Bays forever. During our 100th anniversary celebration, it's usual to reflect upon earlier memories, earlier times. What are some of the earlier memories that were created here in Hampton Bays, even before these students entered our kindergarten? Well, about 100 years ago, in 1907, the first good ground school was built on Ponquag Avenue. It took the place of two smaller schools in the Springville neighborhood and on Montauk Highway Avenue. So this graduation officially opens the centennial celebration of the Good Ground Hampton Bays Union-Free School District. In 1908, we received our charter from the state of New York to allow a high school program to occur within our community. That same charter allows us to come here today to award your high school diplomas. In the same year, 1908, as the school was just starting to come together, a Long Island man was president of the United States. He carried a big stick, dug a canal, and won the Nobel Prize for bringing peace to Russia and Japan. Today, Mr. Meyer evokes the memory for me when he tells his students that a future president of the United States is growing among us in Hampton Bays, perhaps within this class. Certainly a past one lived nearby. We're going to roll forward a few years. In 1917, the first valedictorian was graduated from this school district. Her name was Evelyn Marie Hubbard. Today, Catherine Koski-Lerner continues that tradition of accomplished women proudly graduating from this district as valedictorian about 90 years later. Let's go forward a little bit more. In 1943, the salutatorian was a woman named Helen King. Guess what? Today, her grandson Bruce provided our salutatory address. And in between, the story is not finished. In between Helen and Bruce, the president of the class of 1968 was Helen's son and Bruce's father. Bruce Sr. designed this mace, created and gifted it, and we're using it for the first time today, but it will become a part of our celebrations in the future. So, for Long Island, for Hampton Bays, for the class of 2007, there is a very long tradition of accomplishment on this good ground. In our reflection upon those memories, let's fast forward again several decades. A few of the prior speakers mentioned the flexibility of this class in being able to adapt to multiple administrators. We'll keep that one in mind. But I'd like to point out two individuals that are in fact known to this class. One was a very strong school supporter, a community member, and a parent. Her interest in the school was so strong that she decided to run for the Board of Education, which is a pretty thankless job, and she also served this community as trustee and president. For several years, she took part in these graduation ceremonies. This past year, we lost a friend in Pam Krantz, but her memory is written on the pages of our school's history, and I challenge members of the class of 2007 to follow in Pam's footsteps. Contribute to whatever community you find yourselves part of in the future. The second individual that I mentioned was added to our memory pretty recently. In fact, he only started to enter our history pages about 2 years ago. But what significant years they have been, your junior and senior years here in Hampton Bays High School. Without his expert guidance and quiet strength, the chaotic moments of these past 2 years may have derailed us. Instead, because of his leadership at the secondary school, we have emerged stronger and smarter, just like our graduates. In a departure from commencement tradition, the board and I, the faculty and staff, wish to publicly thank Dan Nolan for coming to Hampton Bays. The days are better because of Dan. Mr. Lehman, board president, has a presentation that he will make to Mr. Nolan. As we say goodbye to 1 century and a very important class, we'll be saying hello to the beginnings of our new phase of our district's history. We'll be opening a new chapter of memories. We'll be opening the doors of our first Hampton Bays Middle School and our first Hampton Bays High School. We'll continue the legacy of the class of 2007, linking all the classes that have come before it with all the classes that will come after it. Today, in recognition of that link, we're beginning another new graduation tradition. For the past 3 years, the speakers who've addressed our graduates were accomplished individuals in the world of politics. They provided, if you will, a final civics lesson before our graduates left for their next stage of life. This year, we've evolved towards what I hope will become a tradition of learning from our own, of sharing a successful life story of an earlier Hampton Bays graduate, which means that at least one of you sitting here today will be back up here in 20 years, returning the favor. We begin this new tradition by returning to Hampton Bays an individual who sat in your chairs only 21 years ago. He took his Hampton Bays diploma in 1986 and went off to college, Notre Dame, and got involved there in the announcing of sports, primarily football, I believe. He worked for the Make-A-Wish Foundation afterwards at the national level before starting his own public relations firm, which has become extremely successful. Currently living in the Myrtle Beach area with his wife and 3 children, Mr. James Maggio has distinguished himself as a writer, a businessman, and a humanitarian. As our 2007 commencement speaker, let's welcome home Jim Maggio, class of 1986.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lowenthal, and thank you all of you. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's truly a humbling honor and privilege to be before all of you here today on what is really the special day for all of you here today. My hope for the next few minutes is to share some thoughts with you, the graduates of 2007, and everyone here today. My thoughts from 2 perspectives. First and foremost, as a proud former student of Hampton Bays, I hope your time here was as rewarding as mine was, starting in 1974 in Mrs. Fusco's kindergarten class, and ending 21 years ago on this stage, accepting one of these right over here, just like all of you will be doing just a few minutes from now. Because that diploma is not only an obvious ticket to your future, it's your connection to the past. Just like your class ring, I happen to have mine on my pinky finger right here. It used to fit on my ring finger about 40 pounds ago. I'd be lying if I told you I wore it all the time, because I don't. But I keep it in a safe place, and I pull it out from time to time to remind me of just how my time here has impacted my life, and how it continues to affect my life in productive ways. You may not realize right now all the ways this school and this community have affected you. But as time goes on, it will. Believe me. I'm a writer by trade, as Ms. Lowenthal said. I polished my craft in college and applied it in the real world, covering major sporting events, interviewing governors, writing speeches and presentations for corporate CEOs. But I first learned I had a knack for it back in Mr. Viemeyer's 6th grade class. When I wrote my submission, you know, I asked Mr. Viemeyer when I gave that speech in 6th grade to stand up and take a bow. And I think I embarrassed him more than anybody, but I think he appreciated, and I appreciated even more how much he was willing to play along with a 12-year-old egomaniac at the time. But it was in Mr. Viemeyer's class where I wrote my submission for a poem contest that the entire class would recite in unison at the graduation ceremony. They chose mine, and they made the whole class rehearse it over and over and over again. Yeah, my classmates loved me that day. Those memories aside, though, it made me realize for the first time, even at 12 years old, that writing was one of the things that I knew that I was good at. I love sports, but baseball has always been my true passion. And there have been few things more satisfying in my life today than being able to instill that same love and passion of the game in my sons. But when I think about it, I'm really not the one who taught them. 2 other men you all know did that. And they're very well known in this school and this community. My summer league coach at that time, Mr. George Skidmore, and my varsity coach, Mr. Tim Tenaglia. They're the ones who showed me why it's such a great game and how to play it the right way. Never mind the one too many times I held my glove up here and the ball sailed right past here. They gave me a gift that I've already passed down to the next generation. They're the teachers, and I'm simply the vehicle by which the lessons are now reaching my kids. And for that, I'll be eternally grateful. Before I married my beautiful wife, Susan, and I'm sorry that she can't be with us today, I spent the best 4 years of my life at one of the world's great universities. I learned, I was involved with Notre Dame football as much as anyone who didn't strap up the helmet, and I made friendships that will stay with me for a lifetime. But it wouldn't have happened if more for my 9th and 11th grade math teacher, Mr. Tom Piskowski. Hearing Mr. P's stories of his time spent in South Bend years ago was really what inspired me to go there. At that point, I had no other connection to Notre Dame other than watching Saturday afternoon basketball games on NBC. And I had Mr. P's stories. So when it finally came time to apply, I just did it. It seemed like the thing to do. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for at that point, just that I needed to try something different. I'm glad that I did, and I'm eternally grateful for Mr. Piskowski's influence in making it happen. As I said, many of these realizations will come to you in due time. For many of you, today's the last time you'll ever see the teachers sitting right here before you today. The individuals who have enriched your past, helped you get to the present, and given you the initial tools you'll need to be successful in the future. If you haven't already today, be sure to thank them before you leave today. They're part of an education legacy in this town that, as Ms. Lowenthal said, will celebrate its 100th birthday next year. Help these teachers and these great people know and appreciate how important their contributions have been to this school and this community over the years, and why everything they do is so important. So what do you deserve? That's where I think I can give you the second perspective, as someone who's taken what he's learned out here, out to the real world, and used it as a basis for continuing to learn. It's easy to think of getting that diploma today as a culmination, an ending. Even if your formal education has concluded here today, I assure you, today's just the beginning of a fascinating journey for all of you, and you're about to enter a whole new classroom. You deserve for that classroom to be as compelling, widespread, and dynamic as you're willing to make it. Even if you make Hampton Bays your home for the rest of your life, get out and travel, see new places, Meet new people, experience different cultures, and do it before you settle down, get married, and start a family. And even when that happens, do it anyway. The best gift my parents ever gave me was never a material object. It was the encouragement to venture out and explore. They taught me that despite the great life our families enjoyed here, life also exists north, west, and south of the George Washington Bridge. They taught me that plasma TVs, BMWs, and iPods come and go, but memories and profound experiences stay with you the rest of your life. You deserve... You deserve to pursue your dreams with fear and uncertainty as motivation to overcome, not as an excuse to retreat. It takes courage. Sir Winston Churchill, one of the great minds of the 20th century, made a simple observation that's just as true today. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You deserve to live your lives free of negative influences. Churchill also noted that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Kind of fits in with the last point, doesn't it? And you deserve to have your actions inspire others. And sometimes the best inspiration comes from very simple acts of kindness. For all the compelling people I've met and stories I've heard through the Make-A-Wish Foundation in my time there, none has ever moved me quite as much as the story of a young boy named Andre. Back in the mid-1980s, Andre was a 7-year-old boy who suffered from hydrocephalus. That's a condition that's more commonly referred to as water on the brain. It creates intense swelling and pressure and is fatal if it goes untreated. At that time, Andre's condition was considered terminal, even with the treatments he received that included shunts surgically implanted in his skull to relieve the pressure. By the time Andre was referred to Make-A-Wish, he'd already spent most of his life in hospitals and operating rooms. His weight had diminished to 40 pounds. He endured intense physical pain and suffering every day. And he told his mother in no uncertain terms that he had finally lost the will to live. A 7-year-old saying that. So when the Make-A-Wish Foundation gave him a chance to bring a special moment of joy in his life at a time that he needed it more than ever, they asked him if there was a special place he could go, a famous person he could meet, maybe a gift he could have, or even a role he could fulfill if only for a moment. What would it be? Andre thought about it, but it didn't take long for him to figure out what he wanted most. For all the time he'd spent in hospitals, he had never had a real birthday party. Was that something they could do for him? Well, of course. The Make-A-Wish volunteers and hundreds of neighbors and friends rallied together and put on the birthday party to end all birthday parties, what amounted to a massive block party in this Levittown community, complete with food, music, clowns, face painting, celebrity impersonators, you name it. They basically brought the Magic Kingdom into his own backyard. The crowning moment of the whole experience was when the local high school marching band made its way down the street, stopped in formation in front of Andre's house, turned to face him, and led the playing and singing of Happy Birthday. The experience ended, but it stayed with Andre. That same 7-year-old boy who was ready to die saw the best in people, and all of a sudden he had something to live for. So he looked his illness square in the eye and he fought it. His condition gradually improved, the hospital stays became much less frequent, and he was no longer living and thinking of himself as a kid who was sick. Now, he was just a kid. Andre had occasion to see my old boss, Pat Clemency, a short time later, and he had this big mason jar full of pennies. It was about $38 worth, give or take a few cents. But that jar of pennies was his life savings. He handed that jar to Pat and he said, "I want you to have this, so that some other kid can have his dream come true too." And you flash forward to today, about 20 years later. Andre's in his late 20s now. He's happily married, has a good job as a mortgage broker. He's still dealing with his condition, but he's living with it. And Andre's penny jar sits in the Make-A-Wish offices to this day as inspiration and a constant reminder to everyone and to themselves of the great things possible through fortitude, persistence, and the simplest acts of kindness to one another. For all the celebrities I've met or worked with, all the amazing places I've been, or any success I've had in my career, it's the Andres of the world that inspire me to be the best writer, family member, father, friend, and person I can possibly be. So in closing, members of the graduating class of 2007, I remind you and tell you that this is your time now. If I tell you nothing else, I urge you all to make the most of it. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you all very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Maggio. Your presence today has brought distinct honor to our proceedings, and we appreciate your willingness to be here for our students in the Hampton-based community. As a token of our appreciation, please accept this plaque as a memory of our 2007 commencement exercises. Okay. All right, graduates, I believe that my speech is the last that stands between you and your diplomas, so I'm going to keep it brief. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lehman, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools, Joanne Lowenthal, parents, family members, friends, and especially the seniors, who in just a few minutes will be graduates. I spent months thinking about how I would address my seniors at graduation. After researching hundreds of quotes from famous men and women dating back to the times of Plato, and looking for that perfect story with the right moral message, one of my students helped me realize that I was moving in the wrong direction. Thank you, Catherine. So I thought I would begin by bragging a little, and then present some practical advice. And now for the bragging. The class of 2007 will be attending some of the finest colleges and universities in the nation, including New York University, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, University of Delaware, SUNY Stony Brook, SUNY Binghamton, the University of Maryland, the School of Visual Arts, and the University of North Carolina, and the list goes on. 44 of our graduates will receive Regents diplomas today. 37 will receive Regents diplomas with advanced designation, and 8 of those students will receive advanced Regents diplomas with honors. Two of our graduates will serve our nation in the armed forces. 14 are current members of the National Honor Society, and 79 have been admitted to 2- or 4-year colleges and universities. High school graduation is one of those pivotal and defining moments in life. Often these moments are followed by times of significant decision-making. In order to help you through these times, I have some practical advice. Number 1, consider advice when it is presented to you. Here is some of the advice I wish that I had considered throughout my life. My brother in 1996, buy stock in Google. Should have listened to that one. And of course, my mother when I was a child, don't stick paper clips into the electric outlet. I really wish I listened to that one. Always remember that I use the word consider. When you listen to any advice, consider the source and make the decisions that you believe are right. Number 2, be honest. A reputation for telling the truth will enhance your personal and professional relationships. If honesty and demonstrating good character ever comes back to harm you, then take comfort in the fact that you were surrounded by the wrong people. And as your teachers would say, number 3, please do your homework. Always be prepared and embrace education. Whether you are enrolled in college or interviewing for a job, take the time to equip yourself for an informed discussion. And finally, number 4, work hard. In order to achieve your goals, you must be persistent. Setbacks and failures will present themselves as roadblocks standing between you and your dreams. Through diligence and hard work, you can navigate your way around, over, and under the bumps in the road. A diploma recognizes that you have met the requirements for graduation in the state of New York by achieving the correct number of credits and passing the required examinations. I would argue that your diploma represents much more. During your years in Hampton Bays, you have excelled in academics, performed in music and theater on our stages, and have learned valuable lessons about teamwork and determination on our athletic fields. For all of us, your growth has been the source of every emotion in the book. We have worried when you were in distress. We have celebrated your success with a great deal of pride and laughed when you were just being yourselves. I hope that you think about this collection of memories long after this commencement. We are proud of your accomplishments and look forward to hearing about the success you will experience in the future. Congratulations to the class of 2007. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to call upon our Superintendent of Schools, Joanne Lowenthal, and Board of Education President George Lehman to begin the awarding of diplomas.
We're about to start by using a script being used this weekend throughout the state of New York. It involves a couple of lines, but they're critically important. And for this, I need all of our board members to please rise. These are the people who are assuring the Board of Regents that you in fact have earned the diploma. So now the principal, the board president, and I will say these magic words that you have been moving towards since the first day of kindergarten.
At this time, it is both an honor and a privilege to present the class of 2007 to the Superintendent of Schools, Joanne Lowenthal, and to declare that these candidates meet all the necessary requirements for their high school diplomas.
As Superintendent of Schools, with pride in the accomplishments, success, and obvious potential of each of our Hampton High School seniors, it is my privilege to certify to Board President Lehman, Vice President Mulcahy, Trustees Katz and Patopoulos, the eligibility of these candidates present, the class of 2007, for their high school diplomas.
By the power vested in me as President of the Board of Education, I am honored to declare that the candidates present are eligible to receive their high school diplomas from the state of New York and Hampton Bays Union Free School District, and are entitled to all the rights and privileges pursuant to their insurance.
So, with pride and celebration, the approval of the entire Board of Education, we will now begin the award of diplomas.
Oh yeah, he's doing very well.
Catherine Lerner. Bruce King. Kristen Moran. Garrett Altenkirk. Megan Jordan. Christopher Anchia. Victoria Aducci. Anthony Arias. Autumn Anderson. Kenneth Bergoli. Paola Anderson. Casey Brandt. Laura Maria Andrews. Catalina Ariza. Eleanor Baird. Christian Castro. Alexa Bettencourt. Derlis Chavaria. Rachel Blydenberg. Osvaldo Huamatita. Megan Buckley. Jeremy Frazier. Jessica Burkhart. Andre Garrow. Catherine Katina. Ashley Shabbat. Erica Dubowski. Nicholas Brodsky. Christina Egner. Douglas Romack. Tara Fallow. Alexander Herzog. Shalisa Farida. Robert Poshla. Mary Ferrando. Ronnie Jimenez. Sandra Franco. Steven Johnston. Marilyn Outstreet. off. Danielle Quinn. Kenneth Langsdorf III. Alexis Hernandez. Anthony Lennon. Nicole Gordon. Ryan Lovett. Leah Clinge. Sia Kavakis. Paulina Cosmo. Jennifer Kutner. Anthony Marino. Joanna Lebkowski. Thomas Martosha. Marion Lehman. Marion Lehman was presented with her diploma by her father, the president of the Board of Education. Zach Moshe. Cindy Leon. Patrick Neidiger. Yuri Londano. Michael Opulenko. Jessica Manglavini. Rosa Martinez. Shirley Martinez. Brandy McKay. Jonathan Patino. Hester Sue Mejia. Stephen Postal. Sasha Perez. Andrew Ramo. Leanna Prasad. Rivas. Lisa Petrolino. Christopher Ridberg. Melissa Rayner. Alexandra Richter. Zachary Sanders. Kelsey Sanabria. Ryan Saunders. Nina Salima.
Good.
Anchor Smith.
Good team.
Madeline Serafin.
I'm looking at you. Who's this guy talking to me?
Juan Solano.
Yeah. I guess I haven't seen you in a while.
Jamie Small. Ryan Sullivan. Michelle Sunico.
This is like the third year.
Kristen Taylor. Michelle Torres. Jonathan Stanton. Cara Tritola. Mark Titus. Melania Diquez. John Buellfelder. Tara Diquez.
Right there. Come on.
Lars Viola. Stephanie Wilms. Sebastian Wagner. Mary Kate Young. Justin Wood. And finally, Sarah J. Please be seated. Thank you, Superintendent Lowenthal and Mr. Lehman, and congratulations to all of our new graduates. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for participating in our joyous ceremony this morning. In a moment, I will ask you to rise and sing along in this rendition of our alma mater. But first, I ask the high school assistant principal, Dan Nolan and Lars Clemenson, to come forward and lead the class in the traditional turning of the tassel. Guys, that's right to left, okay? Class, as you move your tassels from right to left, I pronounce these proceedings closed. Everyone, please rise for a word. As the guests on stage and then the graduates exit during the reception. Thank you.